This video is about writing equations based on situations, and these situations are going to only be one variable. In other words, there will only be one unknown in this situation. So the question we're going to look at is, what should you look for to set equations up? We will not be solving any equations in this episode here. We're just only going to talk about reading situations and then translating them to look like an equation. Okay, so we're going to start with one-step equations first. All right, so we're going to talk about when adding or subtracting. So when adding or subtracting, we're going to take the first thing that happens, we're going to add or subtract the second thing that happens to get the end result. Now, the way I like to do this is kind of set up at a table. And what we're going to do is, on the top of the table, we're going to describe with words what's actually happening so that we know where things go. Then based on what's happening, what we're looking at, then we're going to translate it into a statement, a mathematical statement for us to use. So let's take a look at this one problem and see how that works. So it says, I bought 2 shirts that cost $10. I kept the price tag on one shirt, which was $3, and lost the other price tag. What is the price of the other shirt? So what we know and what we don't know, right? We know that this was the total cost. So I'm going to type in this box, total cost. And over here, I have shirt number 1. And over here, I have shirt number 2. Okay, we can at least agree on that much. So based on this information, we're going to fill in what we know. So when I'm reading this statement, I know I bought 2 shirts that cost $10. So that $10 is going to go into this total cost box. Okay, then what I'm going to do is read some more. I kept the price tag on one shirt, which was $3. So we'll say that this was $3. And we don't know how much this one is. So we're going to call it X. So the way, remember we said we're going to add or subtract and then we're going to equal. So this is going to be our equal sign. And since I'm buying 2 shirts, I bought them together. That is going to be our equation. That's the equation we're going to look at. 3 plus, and without dollar signs, obviously. So when we write that equation, we would write 3 plus x equals 10. That would be translating these words into this equation. Let's try it again. Here it says, Lisa is cooking muffins. The recipe calls for 9 cups of sugar. She has 2 cups left over. How many cups of sugar did she add to the recipe? So what we're looking for is, here is what's left over. So we're going to call this cups left over. And we're going to say cups needed. And over here is cups added. Now, this is where we go back to what we know and what we don't know. Okay, in this statement here, we know that the recipe calls for 9 cups of sugar, so that 9 is going to go there. Okay, she has 2 cups left over, so we're going to put that there. How many did she add? We don't know, right? But if she starts with 9, she's adding, we're taking away when you're adding into a recipe from what you started. So we have 9 minus x equals 2. This is our statement of what's going on. Now, are there other ways to write the statement with the x on the other side? Sure. But what we're going to be focusing on is having the x on the same side with one number, so one number on each side. Okay, so that's adding and subtracting. So let's take a look at multiplying and dividing. Okay, very similar, but we don't need as much of a box because we just need to do something in a one step. That describe here is only going to happen in one box. And then we're going to get an end result. And you'll see what I mean by that. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. This says, how many package of diapers can you buy with $40 if one package costs $8? So this is going to be our total cost again, right? And over here it's going to be cost of diapers. Cost of diapers. Okay, so what do we know and what do we not know? Well, we know based on this story that there's a total cost of $40. Okay, we don't know how many packages we could buy, right? So that's our x. And so then the cost of the diapers is 8. So it should be cost of the diapers times number, how many diapers we want. So the number of diapers, which that's where we don't know what's going on. So that's where that x is. So we have 8x equals 40. So that's how we would take these words and translate it into one equation. Here's one more. Amanda and her best friend found some money buried in a field. They split the money evenly, each getting $24.28. How much money did they find? So basically here in this box, it's going to be money found. And then what we're going to do is we're going to divide it by the number of people for the split, right? Because they have to split the money. Then over here, we're going to write the total amount each person gets. So let's take this information and let's put it down in the box. So it says they each got $24.28, right? How much money did they find? We don't know that. The money that they found is what we don't know, so that's our X. And since it's being split evenly, that means Amanda and her best friend, that's 2 people. So they're going to divide it in 2. If there were 3 people who found it, you divide it into 3. 4 people who found it, you divide by 4. So here, based on our story, we're able to do just one step. And it's pretty straightforward. Now, what gets interesting and actually even easier is doing it when more than one thing is happening. In other words, a 2-step equation. So our boxes are a little bit bigger. Same idea though. First situation, we're going to add or subtract. The second situation is going to equal the end result. So very similar to the 1-step adding and subtracting. So I'm going to show you what I mean in pictures before we get to words. So let's take a look at these pictures. Now here, if I'm looking at the pictures, it says date night at the top. I see 2 people going to the movies. So I have 2 people going to the movies on a date night. Here I see a picture of 2 tickets, right? No cost there, but 2 tickets. I have 2 popcorns, which cost $15. So I have some money here. And then a total. Well, when I see this total here, I said 20, 40, 60. The whole thing's going to cost $60. So let me put down underneath what I know. I know that the total is $60. I know that 2 popcorns were $15, so I can just put 15 because that's not an unknown. But what is not known, and I don't know, is how much each ticket costs, just for one. But I know that I bought 2 of them. So X is going to represent the tickets. So when you know what your variable represents, you're able to write it out. So if X is the ticket amount, you'd say 2 times the tickets, or 2 times the amount of tickets, plus the $15 for popcorn is going to equal the $60. So that's our 2-step equation that we get from this picture. So now let's do it 2 more times, but this time from words. Okay? So here it says you bought a magazine for $5 and 4 erasers. You spent a total of $25. How much did each eraser cost? So in this box, I'm going to say this is a magazine, right? Magazine. Here we have 4 erasers. And then we have total spent. Okay, so this is what we know. Now, what we're looking for and what we don't know is how much each eraser cost. So the eraser is going to have the X because we don't know how much that one is. But we know that there's 4 of them. Because there's 4 of them, that means that this is 4 X's. We know the total spent was $25. And they bought a magazine, so just $5, just one magazine. So if I add this together, they bought 1 magazine, 4 erasers, the total was $25. So here's my equation, 5 plus 4x equals 25. As you can see, this box method really helps us to put the numbers in the right place and see what's going on. We're going to do one more. It says, Nancy bought a soft drink for $3 and 7 candy bars. She spent a total of $31. How much did each candy bar cost? So we're going to say she got a soft drink, right? The first situation. The second situation, she bought 7 candy bars. And then she has a total cost at the end. Now, they're not always total costs, but those are kind of the best examples to use. All right, so if we go back to our story, we see that she bought a soft drink for $3. Now, we don't know. We know that there are 7 candy bars, but we have no idea how much a candy bar costs, just one. So we're going to give it the X. So I have 7 X's, or 7 candy bars, okay? And it's going to equal, so we're going to add these together, and all together, the total she spent was $31. So we have 3 plus 7X equals 31. So hopefully, just using this table method, this will help you to realize how to take equations based on situations and be able to write an equation based on that. Hope this video has helped you out.